Hey everybody, it's Ange. Today we're talking about prebiotics in foods, and I will come on next week and do one about fiber and supplements that you can take. So prebiotics are non-digestible fiber. We talked about this last week when I said that they go through the colon, they get digested by the gut bacteria, and they're not really of any benefit to us, but they supercharge our gut bacteria. They mostly come from plants, and we mostly see them in vegetables. They are called fermentable fibers. So when you hear somebody talking about fermentable fibers, that's what they're talking about, prebiotic fibers. What else? They help produce the short-chain fatty acids that I talked about, which help protect your colon, help feed your colon cells, all those sorts of things, keep the integrity of your gut barrier intact. So they're worth including in your diet every day. So a couple of food types, asparagus. So there's about 300 different types of asparagus worldwide. They have anti-cancer properties and they lower inflammation in the body. So asparagus is the first one. It's an easy enough one to eat. I don't find many people that react to asparagus. So that's a really good one to include. The next one is garlic. Garlic is a member of the allium family, and you can eat it raw, roasted, sauteed. It doesn't really matter. It grows bifidobacteria, so it transforms the polyphenols that we eat. So when I talk about the red, black, blue berries and things that you should eat, the cabbages, the fruit and vegetables, those sorts of things, they make the polyphenols. So the bifidobacteria helps transform them into usable metabolites for the bacteria and for us as well. They also protect us against gastrointestinal damage all over, and they are anti-cancer, antioxidant. So good to include in your diet. Garlic is one that I see lots and lots of people have trouble with. So include it if you can. Sometimes it's worth doing a smaller amount than doing a lot because the smaller amount is better for some people. The next one's onions, also a member of the allium family. They are problematic for a lot of people. Again, they're antioxidant, anti-cancer. They have a flavonoid in them called quercetin, which makes them the antioxidant rich veg that they are. So it's worth including those if you can. Not everybody can, but if you can, it's worth putting them in. The next one's apples. I mean, apples are ones that I think as a prebiotic fiber is a really good one, if you can tolerate them. They're about 50% pectin, and so pectin's really high, it's a really high polyphenol as well. So it's really good for your gut. It helps with fat absorption as well. So it's not just about being good for your gut, but it can help fat absorption. It also can help decrease your cholesterol, and again, it's antioxidant, so it's a good one to include. The next one's leek, and leek is one of my favorites because a lot of people who can't tolerate garlic and onion can tolerate leeks, and they're as tasty in my mind as garlic and onion. So they are again a member of the allium family. They're really high in vitamin K, so good for your heart and good for your bones. So I recommend leeks all the time, and I particularly love them sauteed. I mean, I think they add a really nice flavour to a dish. For a long time, we only used leeks because one of my kids couldn't accept onions. So, Brooke, that's a big issue for a lot of people, fat absorption. And so I think that, you know, including some of those things for you would be really good. The next one's Jerusalem artichokes, or as in our family they're called fartichokes. So they're a member of the sunflower family, and they can be called sunchokes in some part of the world. So they're a really great source of minerals. I mean, I love them. And you can eat them raw, boiled, mashed, roasted. I love them roasted. They have a really nutty flavour, but they will make you farty. And that's part of the job. People go, oh, I don't eat Jerusalem artichokes because they make me farty. Well, a couple of things here. Be mindful of how much you eat to start if you've never eaten them before. With all prebiotics, they will increase your level of fartiness because you're feeding gut bacteria that's probably not had so much focus on it. So it's really good to do it slowly as you go through, rather than have a whole bowl of artichokes or a bowl of artichoke soup, because they will make you farty. The next one that I love, and probably don't use it as much because it's harder to find are green bananas. So green bananas are really high in resistant starch, which I'll talk about one day next week. They increase our bacteria, and studies have shown that green bananas can help with decreasing bloating. Which is a good one for most people who have some sort of gut issues. I've not tried that out of myself, but I always find that something about a green banana always feels better to me. You want that little tanniny taste in your mouth when you eat a green banana. The next one's dandelion greens. We don't see dandelion greens so much in Australia. Occasionally I can get them from my organic supplier. They are very, very bitter, which is a great thing because bitter stimulates digestion too. So if you don't feel like you digest food well, having a bitter at the start of your meal will help with that. And Brooke, that will help with fat absorption too, because once you turn on that digestion with bitter food, so like rocket and a couple of others, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Dandelion. It's normally dandelion and rocket. Rocket's one that I use a lot because it stimulates saliva production, which turns on the whole digestive system right the way through. The next one's chicory. So chicory is a coffee-like flavour. It's really big in inulin, so I'll talk about inulin one day next week too. I use it as a coffee substitute because I don't drink coffee. Endive, that's perfect. That's a bitter. And radicchio too, that's the other one that I really like to use. And they're good to make a starter with, and then you can have them, and then that will turn on your digestive system. So chicory. So I like to use chicory in a coffee replacement supplement. So in Australia there's one that you can buy at Woolies. It's from Bonvit. It's a big yellow packet with dandelion coffee. So it's dandelion and chicory together, which is a really great combination because the chicory is a prebiotic and the dandelion is really good for stimulating your liver production, so or your liver function, so that's good. Prebiotics have a positive influence on our immune system. On our immune system and how our immune system reacts when it comes under some stress. So that's good for that. It also has a positive impact on our bone health, as the prebiotics can help the bacteria enhance the absorption of minerals like calcium and magnesium, which we really need for increasing our bone density. So that's really good. They also have a positive impact on weight, and I have lots of people talk to me about weight. And so essentially, if you're eating more prebiotic fibers, you're eating more fiber, more energy gets produced from that food and nutrients, which will be better utilized, and you'll be fuller for longer. So yes, Mina, I hear you. I hear that from everybody a lot. So the thing for me, and I'll talk to you about that sort of at the end, one of the things probiotics also do is they can lower your cholesterol, again, to the amount of the fiber that's in them. The other thing is prebiotic-like foods. There are foods that don't impact the bacteria exactly like those prebiotic foods I've just talked about, but they do have some impact. So brown rice, orange carrots, cacao, olives, olive oil, coconut oil, and there's one other thing. Oh yeah, black currant is the other thing. So they all help with that, getting that bacteria into line. So they're all good things to add. So one tip that I want to talk to you about though is when you eat prebiotic foods, and I think everybody should eat prebiotic foods every day. And for me, one of the biggest changes in my gut health happened when I started to do this. So I now try to include something every day, and for me, I'm at the stage now where I can have something in every meal. So my tip is when you start really slow and go low and go slow. That is my sort of mantra around that, because they will make you farty. And what will happen is most of them, once the gut bacteria gets a kick along, to start with, it'll get the high influx, you'll get really farty, and then a couple of days later, about 7 to 10 days later, if you keep adding small amounts, they will start to feel satiated and they won't gorge. So you'll get some wind, and you hope to get some wind because then you're knowing it's feeding your gut bacteria, but that wind shouldn't be painful. So that's out on prebiotics. I will come next week and talk about prebiotic fibers that you can buy in supplements. I think supplements are really good if you can't eat the veg, but normally if you can't eat the veg, you'll have problems with the supplementation as well. My thing is food. I just think we should eat good food and try and increase our gut bacteria and that sort of stuff. Mina, talking to you, digestive changes all the time for me, so frustrating. So one of the things that I tell people all the time, don't eat the same foods 3 days in a row, because that can help get away from some of that frustration, because people can react negatively eating the same foods over and over. The people I see who have the most problems in clinic are the people that go, nah, I don't need to do a food diary because I eat the same things every day. They are the people who are have the biggest problems in their digestive health. We're not meant to eat the same thing every day. You know, if you think back to when we were hunter and gatherers, rarely meat perhaps we would eat while we had it, but everything else we would be gathering and hunting for on a daily basis. So I sort of try and do that in my own with my own family, and I sort of encourage my clients to do that. I have a couple of clients overseas at the minute, and when I talk to them, they say, oh no, I'm having the same thing every day. By the third day, I'm really in pain. So my thing is, don't keep eating the same thing, mix it up. So if you eat carrots today, you probably shouldn't have carrots again till, what's today, Wednesday, till Saturday. That always doesn't play out in the function of life, but as much as you can, if you have a food that you know you have a small reaction to, it would be worthwhile doing that, because a couple of things happen. It gives your digestive system a break from it, which means if there is any issues that are happening from that constant having that food, you won't have that as much. So hopefully that helps. But that's something that I see with people, that when they do mix up what they're eating, it can make a huge difference to them. So I hope that's been good. Hope this has been beneficial. Next week I'll do prebiotic fibers and resistant starch, so Monday and Wednesday, and I'll talk to you then. Have a great week. See you guys. Thanks.